Wow, what a day this is, because I just heard the name Tyreek Hill and the Minnesota Vikings together in one sentence. People have been calling for Tyreek Hill to go to the Minnesota Vikings. Let me give you my thoughts on this. So Tyreek Hill was released today by the Miami Dolphins. All right, so he's a free agent now, and he was released following that gruesome, horrible leg injury he sustained. He sustained, I believe it was a broken leg. By the looks of how his leg was that game, it didn't look so right. I don't think a leg is supposed to bend that way, but anyways, it was broken, I'm pretty sure. And he's now been released by the Dolphins. And people have been calling for him to go to the Minnesota Vikings. And this guy isn't the only name we've heard. We've also heard about Kyler Murray, right? And we know that Kyler Murray grew up a Vikings fan. Coincidentally, Tyreek Hill also grew up a diehard Minnesota Vikings fan. That's nice and all, but here's the thing. Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill together on one team. How's that going to work out? How's that going to work? If you have two wide receiver ones on your team, then do you really have a wide receiver one? You know what I'm saying? I know Tyreek Hill may have lost a step, so he may not be that much of a threat as he once was, which could sneak him onto the Vikings. But we all know he's still going to demand a bag. He's still going to want money. So how's this going to work? I'm not saying I wouldn't want it. Don't hear me out. I would love it. Don't get me wrong. I would love it. We'd be a super powered offense. But how's it going to work? How's it going to work? That's all I'm saying. Tyreek Hill, that's just crazy. That's wild, I do remember Tyreek Hill was on a live stream one time, and he said that he grew up a Minnesota Vikings fan and loves the Vikes, he said. But I never thought we'd actually hear a rumor or a suggestion of the Vikings needing to go out and get Tyreek Hill. Both Kyler Murray and Tyreek Hill, those are the names we've been hearing recently. And those guys both grew up Vikings fans. That's the most coincidental part of it. That's the biggest coincidental part of it, honestly. It's just crazy. That's just crazy. But I fully believe that this may not happen. But that's just crazy. Wow. Yeah, I don't think it'll happen though, unfortunately, but it was a fun thought, It was a fun thought. I would love for it to happen, but I don't see logically or financially how that would work out for us. These guys are both wide receiver ones. So, but if it does happen by some miracle of God, and it does work out by some even bigger miracle of God, then hey, I'll take it. We'd probably be Super Bowl bound at that point, but I don't see Tyreek Hill to the Vikings happening. There are other ways of success. There are other ways of, going all the way. And, well, I don't see this one happening. But, we'll still be a high-powered team in 2026. So that'll be something. But Tyreek Hill to the Vikings, I don't see it happening. But the thought of it was fun. But we'll see what happens. Skol Vikings.